All right, folks. So for this video, we are going to look at how to bring in some textures that I have pre-made. You should be able to download them, and when you download them, you should see something along these lines. So many of them are made for a basic cube, while we also have some files that are made for setting up this image of a set of leaves. So if I pull them away, whoops, grabbed the wrong one. If I grab this group here, I bring it around, and you can tell they shifted some, but it's okay. We'll fix that when we redo them. It should look more like this one right here. Oops, still managed to pull them apart. So it should look more like this, to where it looks like leaves on both sides, in case you were trying to create kind of a world that looks kind of like this. It's kind of what I'm going to show you how to do. Um, and again, this is a real basic video on textures because we are simply working with planes and cubes and the settings for the textures to be applied. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go to File, New Scene. I'm going to tell them not to save this one. I'm going to go to File, Project Window, and I'm going to call this a new file. We'll just call it texture test. I'm going to put it in my downloads folder and hit accept. When I do that, I can now do a file save scene as, and it should go to my texture test scenes folder. So I'll call it texture. Now I've got my scene. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull up my downloads folder. And if you downloaded all of these textures, we're going to go ahead and cut those, go into our texture test folder, and we are going to put them in our images folder. So I'm going to just go ahead and paste them there. All right. So first off, we're going to do the easy one. And we are going to create a cube. So hopefully you're on your modeling one. Under your poly modeling, I'm going to click to create a cube. Now the way this will work, this texture will work for any cube as long as you scale it up proportionately using the yellow cube in the center. And so if I right click on that object and go to assign new material, I can choose a Lambert. Now it defaults to this grayish color, but we are going to actually apply a texture. So if I go first to UV editor, this is what a cube's map looks like. That is the default shape. So all of those textures that I have for you, if I go over here with my cube selected, click on color, this checker box, click on the file button, and when it gets to file attributes, if I click this folder next to image name, I can then, oops, I put them in the wrong one. Should have gone in source images. I put them in images. That's fine. I'll just hit this up arrow, go to images, and I'm going to go ahead and choose the tree trunk block for now. And so once I apply it, give it a second to load. Oh, it's not going to load because I need to go up here on my window. And this little texture box here, it's a circle with checkers in it. It says textured when you hover. If I click it, it will begin to display textures. Now, if I go to my quad view here, you have to actually turn that on for each view if you want to see the texture in each of those views. And so now we're going to build a tree. So what I'm going to do, take this cube, I'm going to go ahead and move it up a little bit. And if I, real quick, I just want to kind of show y'all. I'm going to go back to UV editor. You'll see my texture is set up to match that UV map that it defaults to. And again, as long as I scale this proportionately each time, it'll keep the texture. Now, it may start to lose resolution the bigger you go because the texture is a rasterized graphic, so it can only go so big. But we'll leave it like that for now. And what I'm going to do is over here, I'm going to call this tree trunk. And in my outliner, if you don't see this, you can go to Window, Outliner. I'm going to select it and hit Control D. So then it makes a duplicate. If I grab my Move tool, pull it up, I can go into one of my views on the side or the front, try to line it up. Now there are other ways to texture, but this is about the easiest way for a beginner to texture, especially, or to create a scene. I'm going to go over here and hit Control D again, pull that one up. And then with this right here, I noticed when I was pulling this up, it was starting to show through. Somehow I got a texture attached to my transparency. So I'm going to right click on transparency and tell it to break connection. That way it'll break that transparency and should be a solid object the whole time. Just moving them a little bit down. Make sure that they all touch each other appropriately. I could even, I think, go a little further. We'll just overlap them, it's fine. We'll bring this guy up some. Well, I think that's my texture, just has that little blemish there. It's fine. So I'm going to select one of these where it says Lambert 2 here. I'm going to go ahead and call it tree art. That way, if I need it for other stuff, I can attach that texture. All right. Now I'll go ahead and do some ground real quick. So I'm going to take my tree trunk, hit Control D again. I'm going to bring it down below my tree trunk. And over here, I'm going to call it ground block. And in here, because it's linked to tree bark, I don't want to change that now. Otherwise, it'll change all these. So what I'm going to do is on the bottom one here, I'm going to right click, tell assign new material, new material. I'm going to choose a Lambert. For my color option again, I'm going to hit the checker box, choose file, and under the folder for image name, I'm going to go ahead and this time, oh yeah, I got to go back, go to my images folder because I put them in the wrong one. I'm going to choose my grass top block. That way I get my little ground with grass on it. And same thing as I did earlier, I can take that block, Control D, move it over, Control D, move it over. And if I want, I can actually grab all of these ground blocks, Control D, move them, Control D, move them, and now I've got a little piece of land with my tree on it. All right, starting to look decent. So now I want to create the leaves effect, and I don't want to spend a lot of time. So plus we are going for the kind of this little style here. And so what we can do is I'm going to go ahead and create a plane. So I'm going to go to my poly modeling, create a plane. It's underneath everything, so I'm going to go ahead and scale it up. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. And so now what we will do is we're going to right click on it, assign a new material, and we are going to choose a Lambert. And under color, I'm going to click the checker box, go to file, and under image name, the folder, go ahead and choose that. Go to my textures folder, and for color, I'm going to go into the images, and I'm going to choose this oak tree color PSD. All right, so looking at it, you'll see that it's transparent, which it should not have started that way. But if you look here, it applied the texture to my transparency layer as well. If I right click and tell it to break connection, you'll see that it has the actual background of my image. So what I'm going to do is under transparency, click on the checker, go to file, click the little folder, go up to my images, images, and I want to use the oak tree transparency. So now it uses the black here to create the transparency. All right, so now if we look around, we'll notice that the bottom is black. That is because Maya does not put textures on both sides of a plane. It'll put it on all the sides of other objects, but not on a plane. So what I'm going to do is first, right here where it says Lambert 4, I'll call this tree leaves. And I'm going to also go click on my texture for my ground, click on Lambert. I'm going to break that connection for transparency there. And I'm going to call Lambert 3 ground texture. That way everything's organized and I can reuse things. Now, I want to make it to where I can see color on both sides. So an easy fix is first, I'm going to go to channel box here. I'm going to, I believe I need to rotate on the Y, but let's check. Oh, nope, it's the Z. So I'm going to rotate -90 on the Z axis. That way I've got it standing vertically. That creates that and then the black side. What I'll do is hit Control D, but all that does is make a duplicate the exact same way. But if I go into, and I think it's the Y, let's try it. If I go to scale Y, set it to a -13.883. Let's see if that flipped it. Nope. Oh, yeah, it did. Okay. So basically what it did was it made a reverse image by just making that a negative. It made that a reverse image. Now you'll see that it's coming through. So I need to push it back a little bit so that it is not overlapping the other side. So now I've got two. This one on this side has everything the same except that it's rotated, or sorry, it's a negative scale of Y. This side is positive, but I don't want to accidentally not move them at the same time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to name these out. In. I'm going to select both of them, hit Control G. I'll call this leaves. Now, if I select this one, I grab my move tool. I'm going to do modify center right here, this little button. Now, if I move them, it should move them together as long as I'm selecting the leaves. And I can do Control D of that group, make a new one. With that group, I'll just rotate it -90. I can move it into place, kind of put it wherever I want it. Then I'll just take this one, Control D again, move it over to this side. This one, Control D, move it back here. Now all of a sudden, I zoom out, and I may even want to put one down at the bottom here. But from a distance, I've got kind of the tree that is there. I may add some extra layers to make it look thicker like that. But I've kind of created a simple tree, created a simple piece of ground. And now I've got a scene starting to build. So you can do all of this in any of the other projects that we've done or that I've shown you how to do, mixing the Mixamo characters, animating the little simple characters. So now you've got a scene that you can start building, and it's a real simple way to do it. You can get really complex with your modeling of a scene. You'll just have to go and create a manual UV map rather than just the simple basic UV map for a cube. All right, so I'm going to do a file save, and we'll see you in the next video.